my next question, which is you literally wrote the book on injury. So you have your book is titled The Injury Handbook from an Accident to Compensation. And I'm sure, a lot of the topics that you talk about in that book probably were born to bear in, or you brought them to bear rather in this, in this case and in all the cases that you take on. Can you talk a little bit about the book, what it contains, who it's for?
Yeah, happy to do that. We found a hole in the process throughout many clients, just conversations that, they either coming from attorneys and really had no idea where their case was at or where it was going, or even clients that were with us early on and really had a lot of questions, not just about where we were in the next phase, but what does the whole process look like? And obviously, having gone through it myself, my family, and knowing the anxiety that goes through not just wanting to know the answer to the current questions about your case, but about everything. And so we put this book together that really takes you from the inception of an accident. And that's really important these days, as you know, Aniket. So when you get into an accident, pictures and video, everyone's walking around with a high definition camera and video recorder in their pocket. And so to capture that, right, because a lot of times evidence disappears very quickly, it gets destroyed, it's not kept well. So making sure that people know it's very important to capture any evidence that they do in real time as quickly as they can. And people are doing that. And we take them from that stage and helpful tips and things that we can impart on them that will help maximize their case down the road. We also teach them, and we in our welcome package that we send to clients, we send not only the book, but we send a journal. And I'm a little bit old school. We do have a smartphone app as well that you can track this stuff. But, I tell all my clients, if this case is going on 6 months or 2 years, if you're going to try and recreate what you did in that first month, where you had to be relying upon a family member to shower, you had sleepless nights, you had, severe headaches, you were unable to go to work. Some of these things you can source and try and piece together, but a lot of it you just forget. So we like to allow either electronically through a smartphone app or an old school journal to have people journaling consistently throughout the process. We also take them through every phase of the personal injury process. So from, them treating, us gathering the appropriate medical records and bills, dealing with the insurance company, learning about what the policies are, what the exceptions to the policies might be, what the demand process looks like, what the negotiation process looks like. And if none of that works, what the litigation process looks like. We anticipate one of the biggest things that we get to is, all right, we've gotten our maximum offer from the insurance company and we may not be happy with it. They're not happy with it. What does the whole next phase look like? And that's an important part because I think clients underestimate. They just say, I don't like the number, let's go get more, but they don't realize that a bit more of an active participant in that phase. And between attending depositions and producing discovery and preparing for trial, I love to demystify it, explain it in layman's terms, let them understand every phase and why we're doing it, and so that they can also know where we're at. Because a lot of times, the clients, they talk to you a lot up front, they talk to you a lot before it ends, but in the middle, I feel like in some firms, clients can get lost. And that's why we focus on 30-day check-ins and we have a lot of different avenues to stay in touch with the clients. But this book is also something that they can keep with them throughout the whole process so that our voice is there anytime they have a question. We have a lot of frequently asked questions in that book about each phase. We also have a lot of FAQs in video format on our website, in our client portal, but it's really meant to be a handbook so that they know where they're at, they know what we're doing, and they also know why we're doing it.